All right, welcome back, everyone. So you know those movies, those crazy movies about Wall Street?
Oh yeah, the wolves and the
Yeah, all those high-stakes traders, yeah. But have you ever thought about, like, what people actually mean when they say Wall Street talent?
Oh, for sure.
It's more than just, wearing fancy suits and yelling, sell, sell,
Yeah.
out on a giant phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you sent me some really fascinating stuff on this, and I'm really excited to dig into this with you today.
It's gonna be fun. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Feel like there's a lot to unpack. So first things first,
Okay.
when we say Wall Street talent, I think the most obvious definition is the people, right?
Right.
The skilled professionals, working in that industry.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the analysts, the traders, portfolio managers, all those roles we usually think of when we hear Wall Street. What makes them, I guess, stand out? Like, what makes them so talented?
Well, I think it's interesting because a lot of companies, they look for like the culture fit.
Right. But on Wall Street, that culture fit, it often means you're driven, like really driven to succeed.
Oh, okay, I see.
Even if it means like crazy, crazy hours.
Yeah, you hear about those 80-hour work weeks.
Oh, for sure. And a lot of these people, they come from like the best schools, top tier schools. And they come in with these specific skills like finance, economics, and lately it's been a lot of data analysis.
Oh, wow. Data analysis. So it's not just, knowing the markets, it's knowing how to crunch those numbers too.
Oh, yeah, big time. And just think about it. They're dealing with huge, massive amounts of money,
Right.
making choices that affect the whole economy.
Yeah, if they make a bad decision, we all feel it, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So to handle that kind of responsibility, you really got to have some serious talent,
Yeah, no kidding. It doesn't sound like just anyone can just like walk onto Wall Street and just like become a financial hotshot.
Yeah.
Definitely not. No, it takes a very specific kind of person to make it in that environment. I mean, it's incredible competitive.
Oh,
And you feel that competition everywhere, whether they're, fighting over the best deals or even, just trying to get noticed by the higher ups.
Yeah.
It even gets down to like where you sit on the trading floor.
Wow. So the pressure's on, like from the moment you walk in the door.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which makes me wonder then, how do these firms, how do they find these brilliant minds? And more importantly, how do they keep them?
Well, that's where Wall Street talent takes on a whole other meaning. It goes beyond just the people. It's about the whole system,
Okay.
the recruitment, how they develop their leaders, and all the strategies they use to keep people from leaving.
To retain them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the competition to get the best people, it's crazy.
Yeah, of course.
So these companies have to be really smart about it.
Yeah, makes sense. It's like they're investing in these people.
Right.
And then those people are managing the money that affects us all.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. And it's not just about finding talented folks, it's about keeping them happy, keeping them motivated. I mean, the pressure to perform, it's intense.
I can imagine.
The hours are long.
Mm-hmm.
And the stakes, man, the stakes are high. I remember my first week on a trading desk, I made this tiny little mistake, didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It ended up costing the firm a few $1,000s.
Oh, no.
And my boss, this guy, a total veteran, he just looks at me and he goes, completely calm, welcome to Wall Street. You pay for your education here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, harsh lesson.
Yeah, I bet a real trial by fire.
Exactly. But it's funny, though, because that kind of intensity, it's part of the draw. For some people,
Yeah.
It's like this proving ground to see how ambitious they really are.
It's a challenge.
Exactly.
So you mentioned how competitive it is to get hired at these places. And this is where it got really interesting for me. I didn't realize that there are like entire agencies and programs out there specifically designed to place people on Wall Street.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You could almost think of them as like specialist recruiters for finance, I guess.
Okay.
They connect like really talented people with the companies that need that specific kind of talent.
So it's not just about getting a job, it's about finding the perfect fit.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's this one agency, I don't know if you've heard of them, Agency Name.
No.
They specialize in placing data scientists, in hedge funds.
Okay.
Because they understand that data is like so important now in that world.
Makes sense.
They even have this program to train like PhDs to give them the skills they need for financial modeling.
Wow. So it's like hyper specialized.
Yeah, for sure.
And all this brings up, the image of Wall Street talent.
Right.
Because that gets projected way beyond those, fancy offices.
Right. Oh, for sure.
I mean, media, pop culture,
Everywhere.
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
What comes to your mind when you think of, like, that picture of Wall Street?
It's funny. I think most people probably they picture those like larger than life characters, the ones we see in the movies.
Right, right.
The hedge fund guys, the high-powered traders.
Yeah, yeah. The Gordon Geckos of the world.
Exactly. And it's not just the movies, right? You see it in the news, financial news,
Oh, yeah.
even on social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And these people, they become like the face of Wall Street talent, whether it's a good image or a bad one, they're the ones we see.
That's a good point. It makes you think, like, all that media attention, it shapes our whole perception, right?
Yeah.
Like, are we seeing, the reality or just what the media wants us to see?
Mm-hmm.
And does that image, that pressure to live up to that image, does it actually help, the clients, or does it just fuel, like, big egos and risky moves?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's one we should all be thinking about. It's important to remember that what we see in the media, it's often a simplified view.
Yeah.
The reality of Wall Street talent, it's way more complicated. I mean, there are so many people on Wall Street all doing different things. There are a lot of genuinely talented people working there.
Right.
But we have to be careful about how these stories, whether they're positive or negative, they can really change how we see this world.
Absolutely. So today, we've talked about a few different layers of Wall Street talent, right?
Yeah.
We've got the people themselves. We've got the whole system that supports them, all the agencies and programs.
Right.
And then there's that image that gets put out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how they're all connected.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the talent shapes the industry. And then the industry shapes how they manage that talent.
Yeah.
And then all of that feeds into how the public sees it.
It's a whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
And we've just scratched the surface, really.
Yeah.
We've talked about all these different types of Wall Street talent, out there in the world. But what about your own talents? The things you're good at, the goals you set for yourself.
Right.
Think about it. How do those skills, that ambition, that drive, how do they play out in your own life, in your career, in the choices you make about your money?
It's worth considering.
Yeah, it is, because whether we realize it or not, that world, that Wall Street world, it touches all of our lives.
In some way, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's for thought.
Yeah.